Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be looking at some pretty amazing entrepreneurial success stories.
Okay.
Specifically, we're going to be talking about Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, and Richard Branson.
All right.
And we've got some pretty cool sources to work with today. We've got an article from the University of Bolton that highlights these three entrepreneurs as a way to kind of inspire business students.
Right.
And we've also got a whole collection of different articles from entrepreneur.com.
Interesting.
So yeah, I think we can extract some pretty valuable insights from all of this and maybe even uncover some surprising details about these guys along the way.
Yeah, sounds like fun.
So why don't we just jump right in?
Sure.
So you mentioned that University of Bolton article.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
Well, it's actually it's pretty interesting because it was published back on October 15th, 2022,
Oh, wow.
as part of a campaign to promote their BSc Honors Business Startup degree.
Oh, so they're using these success stories as a way to attract students.
Exactly.
Hmm.
They even mentioned some pretty cool perks that come with the degree.
Like what?
Well, they talk about things like dedicated business mentors, in-depth problem analysis, and a £4 million Institute of Management building.
Wow, they're really serious about this.
It seems like they're putting their money where their mouth is.
That's pretty impressive. So, okay, let's get back to our main subjects here.
Sure.
What stands out to you about Steve Jobs' journey?
What I find fascinating about Steve Jobs is that, he's this tech icon,
Right.
but he's also college dropout.
Yeah.
He actually dropped out after just 6 months.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and it wasn't just a random act of defiance. He was really disillusioned with the traditional education system. He
Really?
found it restrictive and irrelevant to his passion.
Interesting.
So this experience really shaped his whole approach to problem solving and innovation. He wasn't afraid to break the rules, challenge conventions, and trust his instincts.
So it was more like a calculated risk than just him being rebellious.
Exactly.
Huh.
Leaving college allowed him to dive headfirst into his interests,
Mhm.
explore new technologies, and connect with other people who shared his vision.
Yeah,
People who are also passionate about pushing boundaries.
I see. So that's how he ended up co-founding Apple with Steve Wozniak back in '76.
Yeah, they famously started in a garage in California.
That's amazing. And from that small operation came some of the most iconic products in history.
Think about it, the iPhone, the iPad, the MacBook.
It's incredible. Jobs' story really challenges the traditional idea of what it takes to be successful.
It shows that while education is valuable, unconventional paths and self-driven learning can also lead to extraordinary achievements.
So while dropping out of college might not be the right move for everyone, Jobs' story definitely highlights the importance of passion and self-belief.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's switch gears a bit and talk about Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay.
The mastermind behind Facebook. What can we learn from his journey?
What's really remarkable about Zuckerberg is how he took a simple idea, connecting students on campus,
Right.
and turned it into this global phenomenon.
It's unbelievable how Facebook grew.
And it wasn't just luck. He really understood how to leverage what we call network effects.
Network effects? What does that even mean?
Well, imagine this. The more people who join Facebook, the more valuable it becomes for everyone else.
Oh, I see.
That's the power of network effects. And Zuckerberg, he understood this from the beginning.
So he was being strategic about it.
Exactly. He constantly introduced new features to encourage users to invite their friends, creating this snowball effect that fueled Facebook's growth.
So he was focused on building that community.
Exactly. He was a master of early-stage online marketing.
Yeah.
He understood how to build a community and create that sense of belonging among users.
Wow, he was way ahead of the game.
And remember, all of this was happening while he was still a student at Harvard back in 2004.
It's mind-blowing.
Facebook's later acquisition of Instagram, their market cap exceeding $800 billion, and their staggering 2.91 billion monthly active users.
That's insane.
All testaments to his vision and execution.
So Zuckerberg's story reinforces the idea that a simple idea executed brilliantly can really change the world.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder that you don't necessarily need a complex business plan or years of experience to achieve remarkable success. Hard work, dedication, and a deep understanding of your target audience can be just as valuable.
Okay, I'm starting to see a pattern here. Jobs and Zuckerberg both took unique paths and defied conventional wisdom to achieve amazing things.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to our third entrepreneurial icon, Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group.
Okay.
What makes his story so compelling?
What's remarkable about Branson is that he started his first business venture, Virgin Records, while he was still in school.
Really?
Yeah, he started selling records by mail order because he thought the existing record stores were overpriced.
So he basically took on a whole industry as a teenager.
He did. and that fearlessness, that rebellious spirit that has defined his entire career.
I can see that.
Over the past 50 years, Virgin Group has become this massive conglomerate with interests in everything from airlines to music labels to space exploration.
Wow.
And he's built a net worth of over $4 billion.
That's incredible. What lessons can we take away from his success, especially for those of us who might not have a lot of resources or connections to start with?
Well, Branson's story really emphasizes the power of creativity, adaptability, and just pure grit.
So he wasn't afraid to challenge conventions, take risks, even fail sometimes.
Exactly. He believed in himself and his vision even when others doubted him.
So you're saying that sometimes the most valuable assets an entrepreneur can have are a bold vision, a willingness to learn and adapt, and the tenacity to overcome setbacks.
Absolutely. Now, before we jump into those fascinating stories from entrepreneur.com, I'm curious to hear what's resonating most with you from these three journeys.
That's a good question. What really strikes me is that even though these guys operated in totally different industries and had very different backgrounds, they all shared this common thread of resilience and a willingness to challenge the status quo.
Right.
They saw opportunities where others saw obstacles and weren't afraid to shake things up a bit.
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that entrepreneurial success isn't limited to a specific personality type or background.
Yeah.
It's about having that vision, the drive, and the adaptability to turn your ideas into reality.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've got these three larger-than-life entrepreneurial icons, each with their own unique approach to success. Now let's switch gears and explore what we can learn from the more diverse collection of stories on entrepreneur.com.
Sounds good to me.
Let's do it.
What I really like about entrepreneur.com is that it goes beyond just like celebrating success. It really digs into those struggles and triumphs of everyday entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So it's a little more grounded, you know?
Right. It feels a lot more relatable than just reading about, these billionaires. It's like, okay, these are real people who faced real challenges.
Right.
Like that one story about the entrepreneur who thought he was going to be living this carefree beach lifestyle selling bikinis in Brazil.
Oh, yeah. What happened with that?
Well, it turns out it rained way more than he expected.
Oh, no.
So he had to totally adapt and find new ways to reach his customers.
That's a good point. It highlights that you got to be flexible.
Right.
As an entrepreneur, things don't always go as planned.
It's like they say, no business plan survives first contact with the enemy.
Exactly.
Speaking of overcoming challenges, there's another article that really stood out to me.
Oh, yeah.
The one about how 5 famous entrepreneurs turned their failing businesses into these huge successes.
Oh, wow. Who are we talking about here?
Well, it talks about Steve Jobs,
Okay.
Henry Ford,
Wow.
and even Walt Disney.
That's pretty inspiring.
I know, right? It just goes to show that failure isn't the end.
It's true.
It can actually be a stepping stone to something even greater.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys all faced setbacks, made mistakes, and had to completely change their strategies multiple times.
Yeah. But they never gave up.
They never gave up on their vision.
Right.
And they ended up turning their businesses into global powerhouses.
It's amazing.
So it's really a lesson in turning adversity into opportunity.
For sure.
Yeah.
You got to use those failures as learning experiences.
Right.
Refine your approach and ultimately achieve those big goals.
It's so important to be able to learn from mistakes.
And not just your own mistakes.
Oh, right.
It's about learning from others, too.
Yeah, like mentors and stuff.
Well, there's actually an article on entrepreneur.com about this entrepreneur who totally failed with his startup.
Oh, no.
But he decided to openly share all the lessons he learned.
Wow.
So he could help other people avoid making those same mistakes.
That's so cool of him.
Yeah.
It's like he's paying it forward.
Yeah, it really speaks to that sense of community in the entrepreneurial world.
Right. People are genuinely rooting for each other.
I think that's what I love most about this whole space.
It's pretty awesome. Okay, so we've talked about resilience, adaptability.
Right.
And the importance of learning from mistakes. What other golden nuggets of wisdom can we get from these entrepreneur.com stories?
One theme that keeps popping up is the power of storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
There's this article that compares small business marketing to what they do in Hollywood.
Interesting.
It basically says you need to craft a compelling story,
Makes sense.
one that really connects with your audience.
It's like every entrepreneur has a story to tell.
Exactly.
A story that can resonate with customers, investors, even potential employees.
It's about capturing the heart of your business, your values, your unique selling proposition.
And making people feel something.
Exactly. And, sometimes those stories can come from the most unexpected places.
Like where?
Well, there's this article about an entrepreneur who figured out how to sell experiences over the phone.
Wait, what?
I know, right? It's amazing how he tapped into people's desire for connection and created a whole new market.
That's so creative.
His story shows us that innovation can happen anywhere, anytime.
It's about seeing those possibilities where others see limitations.
Exactly. So if we take a step back and look at all these stories,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways we can glean from these diverse experiences?
That's a tough one. I'm not sure.
Well, I think despite their different industries and backgrounds,
Mhm.
these entrepreneurs all share some common traits.
Like what?
They're resourceful, they're problem solvers,
Okay.
and they truly believe in their ability to bring their ideas to life.
Yeah, and they're not afraid to take risks.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
They understand that entrepreneurship is a journey.
And it's not always a smooth one.
Right. It's full of twists and turns.
So you got to be able to handle the uncertainty.
Exactly. They're comfortable operating outside their comfort zones,
Yeah.
experimenting and constantly learning and evolving.
Yeah. It's all about growth.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we move on,
Yeah.
I want to turn to you, our listener. What's resonating with you the most from these entrepreneur.com stories?
Yeah. What's sparking your curiosity?
Are you thinking differently about your own entrepreneurial aspirations?
It's kind of wild when you really think about it. Like, all these people we've been talking about,
Yeah.
they all started with just an idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to get caught up in, the billions of dollars and all the global influence they have now.
Right.
But it's important to remember those humble beginnings.
Absolutely. They weren't always these larger-than-life figures.
They were just regular people
Right.
who dared to dream big and work their butts off to make it happen.
And I think that's what makes their stories so inspiring.
Exactly. It's not about making people feel like, oh, I could never do that.
Right.
It's about showing them that with passion and dedication and, a little bit of grit,
Mm-hmm.
you can achieve amazing things.
It's about that journey,
Yeah.
the challenges, the learning, the adapting. That's where the real growth happens.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about the human element.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
These stories highlight the importance of building a strong team,
Right.
working together effectively.
In creating a culture where everyone feels valued.
It's not a one-man show.
Definitely not.
It's
It's about everyone coming together to achieve a shared vision.
And speaking of teamwork, that brings up another important point.
What's that?
The ability to adapt and evolve.
Oh, yeah, that's crucial.
The business world is constantly changing.
Things move so fast.
So you got to be agile, open to new technologies, willing to pivot when needed.
It's like that saying, the only constant is change.
Right. The people who can roll with the punches and learn from those changes.
Those are the ones who will truly thrive.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into these amazing success stories,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's never too late to chase your entrepreneurial dreams,
That's so true.
no matter where you are in life.
Whether you're just starting out or you've been thinking about an idea for years,
Now is the time to take action.
remember every successful business started with just an idea.
And the courage to pursue it.
So tap into that entrepreneurial spirit
Draw inspiration from these incredible stories.
and go make your mark on the world.
That's all for today's deep dive. We hope you found these stories as inspiring and insightful as we did.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.